Hi, I'm Maciej from The Tangent and Machine, and you're watching liveprog.
This paranoia is so strong. Someday you'll hear there's something wrong with me. The winter is dead, I said the winter is dead.
Hey there, Marszałek here from liveprog. I am a bit at a loss for words. I was thinking about the best way to introduce the album that I have for you in this review. I'll show it to you. It is this one, Lost in Perception by Retrospective. In case you already have this album, you may wonder, why are you doing a review of this album now? Because this album was released about a year ago, November 2012. So why am I doing a review of this album now? Over a year later. Well, there are a couple of reasons for that. One of the reasons is that I only got this album this year, 2013. But I got it a while back, and the biggest problem for me was that I had a lot of albums to review. I mean, I had a stack like 40 albums, and I need to make choices because I can't review all these albums. I mean, it's simply too much, and I simply don't have the time. I want to, but I don't have the time. So I listen to a lot of albums and you know, often make a decision which albums I'm gonna review, which albums I'm not gonna review. And I listened to this album, but in the initial spin that I gave the album, I wasn't really paying attention, and I thought, okay, it's a nice prog album, but yeah, I'll probably won't review it. But I kept it on my list, and I started listening to this album again, and I am so happy I did, because that made me decide that I really needed to do a review of this album. I really needed to tell you about this album. Now, one thing you know about me. I am not a musician. I don't know anything about all these technical things, technical musical terms and everything. I don't know. But I am a very dedicated listener of music. I listen to a lot of music. You know, you can still see a glimpse of my collection behind me. I have a huge collection of music. I listen to music all the time. I love that very much. And the one thing that is important for me when I listen to an album is that it has to do something to you. It has to evoke an emotion. Why else would you buy an album? I mean, because they know how to play 20 notes in a second? I don't know. Saying something crazy, but that's not why you buy an album. You buy an album because you want to listen to it and you want to be entertained, you want to have a good time, or you want to use it to enhance or to repress your feelings. That is possible. I mean, if you're angry, you want to have some heavy music. If you're happy, you want to have some happy music. You know, because music is emotion. And that is the exact reason why I'm bringing you this review, because of the emotion that this album has brought up into me. I was listening to it and I thought, wow, these guys have an amazing sound. Wow, what is this? I mean, and then I kept on listening, and with each spin, I cranked up the volume a little bit more because I wanted to hear more, and I wanted to have this album, the sound of this album, I wanted to fill my house. And that's what I like about that.
Or what? These moments lie in our hearts. Weakness can destroy our lives. Give your hand, stand by me, and please stop fight.
Now, I did a little bit of research on this band. I checked out their website because I was curious, you know, what album is this of them? Because it's the first album I have. It's being released by Progressive Promotion Records, which is a label that is really growing, really doing a lot of good work on bringing fantastic music out. I already reviewed several of their releases, but I'm so glad that I just managed to get this one out, despite the fact that it is out there for already a year. And you know, there's a chance that you already have this album, there's a chance you know about this band, but there's also a chance that many of my viewers have no idea. Retrospective? Who are they? Where are they from? They are from Poland. And Poland, of course, is a country that brings out a lot of great progressive music. There are a lot of fantastic bands there. Well, we can add this one to the list. They started out in 2005, but then they called themselves Hollow, and they were active for a few years. They changed their name to Retrospective. In 2008 they released their debut album. Then they had a few lineup changes. The singer left, another singer came in, but they changed back again. The singer came back and they released their second album, and that is this one, Lost in Perception. The very artful cover is a digipack, so a lot of art, as you can see. And we have the inside with a booklet with lyrics, and of course I'll show it to you, the lineup. Oh, I'll cover my face and then you can see it. This is the lineup. As you can see, beautiful Polish names, so I'm going to try and avoid mentioning them, although I am going to try and mention a few of them, because the whole sound that this band brings, the whole way that they, well, the songwriting is very solid. There's a fantastic groove in the songs. The whole album listens, it's just a great feeling to listen to the album. I mean, you have to listen to it to understand that. I mean, I can't tell you that, I can't explain that to you, because that is a feeling. That is a feeling I got when I got this album. But it is really, it's well composed, it's well mixed, there's a nice balance in all the instruments. You can really hear it. The album has this really mellow sound that you really feel relaxed with. It doesn't put any pressure on you. It doesn't give you any stress. No, this is a great album to relax with. I love that whole vibe that the sound of this album is bringing out. And as I said, you know, I really find it fantastic to fill my house with the sound of this album. Especially, you know, you hear all the instruments very well. I love the bass and the drums in the album. It gives me a great feeling. But the one thing that really captured my interest when I was first listening to this album were the vocals. And there I heard, well, probably a strange link, a strange influence, and it could be just me, I don't know, but when I was listening to the singer, I heard a little bit of a hint of Eddie Vedder in his voice. Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam. Now, that is not exactly a link I ever made before Pearl Jam and prog, but that's what I heard. And when I started listening to a little bit more to the music, I had the feeling that despite the surface prog feeling, that there was a little bit more to the music than meets the ear. You know, when you listen carefully to the music, you can really hear how well the songs are crafted and how well the album is crafted. And I had a feeling I also heard a little bit of that Pearl Jam influence also in the music, which made it for me very interesting. Now, when I looked up the website of the band, there were photos of the members, and when I was looking at those photos, I thought, wow, these guys are young. I mean, I think they're somewhere in their 20s, and they are part of this new generation of musicians. And you see them in every country. You have these young musicians coming up and bringing their own sound, bringing a sound different from, well, the prog sound that we used to have. And that's what I like. The variety, the diversity is growing. And I remember that in the 90s, it was very easily to say that is prog, because you had a certain kind of sound. They called it neo-prog. But along the way, the whole sound of progressive rock changed a lot. And nowadays, the umbrella of what I used to see progressive rock as a big umbrella where a lot of styles fit under, but that umbrella has become really big, you know, and a lot of different styles are under it. And this is one of them, and this is a style I absolutely love very much. Vocalist Jakub Roszak. I think he has a really amazing voice, and to be honest, when I listened to the voice and then saw the face of the singer on the website, I thought, wow, you are young and your voice kind of sounds much more mature. So he has a really incredible voice, that's what I like. But what I like in addition to that is another member that is listed here first, and if I say it correctly, Beata Łagoda. Well, it's an L, but it's a little different. It's Polish, so pardon me if I say it wrong. But she plays keyboards in the band. Something I also like, a female keyboard player. You don't see them that much, but fortunately they are there and they provide a really fine addition to this band, because again, also the keyboards are really good in the album. But the main reason why I like her is the way that she also does backing vocals, and the way that that is used in the songs, the way that these backing vocals complement the lead vocals. Wow, I really love that. As I said, you know, with me, the main thing is about the feelings of an album, and I don't give out numbers, marks, grades to albums, but I can tell you the highest, well, how do you know it, mark you can reach for me is when you bring a strong emotion in me, when you bring tears to my eyes, and not in a bad way, but in a good way, you know. It's like, wow, this is such great music. When you bring that kind of an emotion in me, I'd say you reached the highest level, and that is when you get usually a liveprog must-have seal. Well, this one gets a liveprog must-have seal because when I was listening to the album and thinking of how much I love the sound of that album, I really got tears in my eyes, and I thought, wow, this is so great. But you know, I find it hard to put it in words what it is that makes this album so good. So all I can say is, I hope I made you curious to the album if you're not familiar with it. I hope you understand the emotions that this album brings out in me, and I really hope that it will have the same effect on you, because then I say they have succeeded in bringing a fantastic album. I am really happy. I didn't put it away because it was already released last year. I'm really happy I listened to it, gave it a chance, and discovered this is a really stunning album. As I said, this album is getting a liveprog must-have seal, because I think everybody should have a copy of this album, because this band brings really beautiful and really fantastic music on this album. So I would say check it out, listen to the Bandcamp site, and if you like what you hear, please buy the album, because that way you will support the music. The end! I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you will enjoy the album. Are you familiar with it? Have you heard it already? What do you think of it? Please let me know as a comment on my YouTube channel. And while you're at my YouTube channel, please click on subscribe so you will keep up to date on all the new videos I am going to upload, because a lot more will be coming. And of course you can visit my website liveprog.com. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and I hope you will see me at a new video review.